I'm ashamed of her. The words detonated. In the rec center, my father's voice, a blade honed by years of barking orders. He didn't need to yell. His cadence, forged in military command, silenced the room like a drill sergeant's glare. Heads turned, plastic cups froze mid-sip, and the hum of small-town chatter. Gossip, laughter, the clatter of potluck. Dishes died. This was meant to be a homecoming, a modest gathering, and a hall reeking of barbecue sauce and pine. Cleaner. Instead, it was my public execution. The crowd was a quilt of familiar faces, retirees in faded VFW caps, their service pins catching the dim light, women fanning themselves with church bulletins, teens sneaking brownies from the dessert table. Walked and braced for tension, not a spectacle. Years had passed since I'd faced my father. His letters to me returned with one-word replies or none at all. Yet here we were, breathing the same sticky air. His eyes found me the moment I crossed the threshold, his jaw tightening like a locked gate. He waited until the room quieted, then loosed his verdict. I'm ashamed of her. The silence that followed clawed at my chest, my face burning as I fought to keep my gaze steady. Then, as if to drive the stake deeper, he turned to a man beside him, lean, sharp-eyed, with a coiled stance of a predator, and gripped his shoulder. This, he declared, voice swelling with pride, is a man who serves. A ranger, best of the best. The crowd hummed, nods rippling like a wave, eyes shifting to the stranger. My father's mouth curved, not a smile but a victor's smirk, as if he'd rewritten my existence. This is my pride, not her. I should have turned away, let the moment pass like a bruise you ignore. But my eyes met the ranger's. His poise cracked, his face draining too. His lips parted, and in a voice low but sharp enough to pierce the hush, he said, "Are you the ghost of the ops?" The words landed like a flare in the dark, sparking whispers through the A veteran's hand tightened on his. Came. A woman's bulletin froze mid-fan. My father's smirk wavered, his eyes darting unmet. He didn't know the way to that name. The tales swapped in bunkers and briefing tents. The shadow I'd cast in places he'd never tread. The room shifted, not yet mine, but no longer. To understand why a ranger would blanch at my name, we must rewind to a home where rules outranked affection, where I was the daughter who could never be the heir he craved. My father raised me on discipline, not dreams. At 7, he drilled me to stand rigid on the porch, spine straight, eyes fixed. Weakness bends, he'd growl, his breath sharp with motor oil and instant coffee. Our town worshipped him, a retired major, a parade fixture, his name carved on the Legion Hall's donor wall. But home was a barracks, his praise reserved for a son. I wasn't. My mother countered with quiet rebellion, tucking Audre Lorde verses into my coat pocket, murmuring, "Some battles need patience, not fists." 17, I announced I'd apply to the Army's officer program. He snorted, stirring his coffee. "You're not cut for it," he said, meaning my body, not my will. Applied in secret, essays drafted in the glow of a flashlight. When acceptance arrived, he skimmed the letter, handed it back, and said, "Don't embarrass me." He skipped my commissioning ceremony. The Army didn't welcome me. It tested me. Fort Benning forged me in sweat and precision, teaching me to move like a cog in a machine that never sleeps. Didn't chase Ranger tabs. Those paths were barred, but I found my place in ops. An intel where plans are the heartbeat of survival. At Camp Derby, I supported elite units. My desk a nerve center of grids and signals. I learned to catch the hitch in a voice, the static in a calm, and pivot before plans unraveled. My briefs were lean, my routes bulletproof. The team dubbed me Ghost, not for bloodshed but for seeing what others missed. The trap in a shadow. The pause before a storm. In a village where dust choked the air, I caught a scout's hesitation and rerouted a patrol, dodging an IED that never made the logs. The team came back whole, tapping my desk twice before missions. A ritual, born of trust. Ghost threat, they'd say, snags the devil. My father never asked about my work. My emails returned unopened. My mother's voicemails held us together until leukemia claimed her. Her final words, "Rise, don't run." At her memorial, he folded the program into a perfect square, eyes dry, Back at base, I added a line to every plan. Who guards? A guard? It saved minds, not just men. The nickname spread, a murmur among operators. I didn't seek fame. I built webs that brought soldiers home. In the hall, the Ranger Taurus spoke again. Major, she saved us in Helland. The room stilled. My father's jaw clenched. She's a planner? He scoffed, grasping at control. Taurus shook his head. She's why we're breathing. A librarian once my debate coach piped up. You never said, Tom. The air thickened, recalibrating. I stepped forward. It's not about titles, I said. It's about who returns. A retiree stood, hand on chest. Others rose. My father's arms fell, his fortress crumbling. Later at his house, he poured coffee, voice low. I didn't see, he admitted. I didn't look, I replied. But I'm here. He nodded, not forgiven but found. Back at base, Torres messaged. Did right, ghost. Type. We all came home. The work goes on, threading respect into plants. Share your story of standing unshamed.